Hi everyone, this is Tie-Dye Plain Videos here, and today we're going to be working on our toolbox. We are going to be stepping up with the first steps, which is basically deburring all the metal and getting the holes drilled to the proper size, match drilled to both sides, getting them ready for the rivets. Tyler?
Sorry I wasn't here last night. I had other plans, but I'm excited to be back and start working on this toolkit.
So, if you're interested in sponsoring our channel,
Good morning, Jeff.
If you're interested in sponsoring our channel, if you'd like to donate to us, our PayPal address is down below. We also have a Patreon page. Go visit that if you'd like to become our first or second or third Patreon.
Link in description.
There you go, Dale. All right. So the first thing we need to do is we need to finish deburring all the metal. Yesterday we got it started with this first piece, and you'll notice that it's fairly nice and smooth, but we've got to deburr some of these corner pieces.
Okay.
So we're going to do this as a two-man job for safety purposes. Tyler's got his safety goggles on, and he's got the gloves so that he can hold the metal. So what we're going to do is you're going to help move the metal as I'm starting to deburr these corners, okay? So we got our deburring tool with our Scotch-Brite pad built right on, and our safety. You don't have to be too worried. You're not going to get any sparks or anything, so don't feel like you got to step back too far. All right. Check those out. Make sure they're nice and smooth.
So you guys could probably hear the loud noises.
Turn on lights down.
You could probably hear that very loud noise in the background. So just bear with us because our what is it called? Our air compressor is trying to get us started. So just bear with us. So as we get this work done and our loud noises are going, let me fill you in on how we're doing. So as you can see, we've had our studio set up for a couple of videos, and we're doing pretty good. As you can see, Tyler and my father are deburring the edges right now. So what that does is when you cut metal, what happens is you have little tiny burrs that catch on. So this is to prevent any sharp edges and to make it a really smooth finish for this toolbox. Now, you might be asking, what's the purpose of this toolbox? So this toolbox is basically to teach us on how to create an airplane. So this is going to show us how to rivet. This is going to show us how we put metal together and whatnot.
Side. Get the, yeah.
So as our handy dandy tool men are working, I'll try to fill you in. So as you can see on the bottom of the screen, you have our PayPal account, tiedyeplainvideos@gmail.com, and our Patreon, link in description. But if you are practicing your typing on your phone, the address is at the bottom of the page on our banner, where you can also see our PayPal account. So as we get this thing, deburred, any questions that we have? I mean, we're free to Q&A, trying to prevent you guys from just listening to a loud humming sound. And do you have any Q&A? It does not. Ooh, we're getting a thumbs up from Tyler. I believe that is a good thing. As we get ready for our second piece, I'll again remind you guys that this may not be, if I'll give it 5 likes on this episode, we will come out with another video today. How would you like that, guys? Another video preparing and starting this beautiful toolkit today. And hopefully we'll get another video tomorrow if that is not achieved. But you guys can get 3 videos over the weekend if you guys drop that like button. The like button is right near the subscribe button. So if you would like to multitask, always go and subscribe and like to get that second video today. So as we continue, we're just deburring the edges here. I'm seeing no questions in the comments, but if you do have any questions on what we're doing or why we're doing it, that's okay. It looks like that, Jeff, you appear to be the only viewer right now. So if you would have any questions, your questions will be answered because, well, there's no other questions. So I believe that we just finished our second metal piece, and we are now turning it off. So
all right, get a little sound back in our lives. Okay, so we've just deburred the edges of the 3 pieces that we're going to work with first. We'll put the cover aside. We can deburr that later.
Sounds good.
The next step that we're going to do is we're going to actually take these sides and we're going to cleco them to their place on the body of the toolbox.
Nice.
And the technique that we're going to use is an every other hole technique. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Pull out those
Where are the
clecos.
cleco pullers?
The cleco
Squeezers?
Pliers should be
under there?
right behind your computer.
Ah, there they are.
So let's go ahead and start with the second hole.
Okay.
And then we'll go every other hole with the clecos. There you go. Nice job.
Thank you.
1 cleco installed.
Now, don't forget, guys, we're going to have to do this for all of these clecos on the plain build, and we're probably not going to video it because, as you can see, we're only on 2, and it's already taking a while.
We will be probably time-lapsing quite a bit of the airplane.
So as these guys are working, I would like to remind you that, again, it is an ongoing Q&A that I will be taking questions and giving it to our, let's say our worker dudes that we have on set that you see on camera here. So just if we do have any questions, feel free to ask any question.
Okay, so we have every other hole clecoed.
Yep.
Basically, we've pretty much formed 1/2 of the box, right?
Yep.
So now what we're going to do is we're actually going to match drill the next set of holes. And the purpose of this is really to get the holes lined up on both sides of the pieces and get them ready for the rivets. Squeeze like that.
Whoa. That was a little scary.
Okay, this, you're going to have to squeeze it in, push real hard. Push this in.
Oh, push that.
Squeeze real hard. Push it, push. Use some muscles. Come on.
It's an awkward position.
It's supposed to be a high schooler. Use the muscles.
It's your job.
Okay.
I see your...
Clearly, in high school, you don't yet have the muscles to squeeze 90 pounds per square inch.
Disappointed in you, Tyler. Disappointed.
Okay. So again, I'll do the first couple, maybe 1 or 2, and then you can do a couple.
Safety goggles on. You always want to be safe.
That's right. So we've got a 40mm bit. It's that size that we're going to need for our rivets.
All right.
And we're just going to match drill these holes that are already there.
Easy.
Pretty easy. Pretty simple, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So you're right there. Just keep going for the rest of them.
So
Make sure you go in straight. There you go.
You guys can see those tools that we prepared yesterday. If you missed that video, we prepared that drill. We prepared that deburring tool that you just saw, and another tool that we probably won't be using today.
Which one's that?
That is the rivet puller.
We actually will be, right, we won't be using the puller today. We will be using the squeezer, however.
Did I do a good job?
I would say you did a great job. They look great. Now, before we take those and move them, what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to mark this piece. Why?
Which piece?
This
This
end
piece,
piece.
okay.
Why? Because it looks very much the same as this piece. But
so
we
we might-
have just made it a perfect fit for the left side of, or maybe from the camera's view, the right side, but from our view, it's the left side of the toolbox. So we're just going to go ahead and put a quick little mark of an L on the inside of this piece so that we remember later when we take it off, it is the left piece.
Perfect. I don't know if you guys can see that. An L right in there.
Okay.
All right. So now
What you want to do is you're going to want to take out
all these Clecos and put them in the opposite hole.
Yes, but you're going to want to do one at a time because you want to hold that together and keep the same piece. So you're going to want to move one Cleco at a time up to its next part. Muscles.
Tyler seems to really
Now
be
that second one went in
struggling.
a lot better, right?
Yeah,
And that's because we have it
drilled it.
match drilled.
Now they're slipping in really easy.
As they should. Just slide it off.
Tyler seems to be struggling, and I'm very disappointed in you, Tyler. Disappointed.
What did I do?
You
Horrible
misaligned the pliers onto the Cleco.
Oh, that's great. So while my dad fixes that, I guess we'll, if there's any questions, I'll answer them real quick because who knows how long that's going to take.
Just a second or two.
Oh, never mind. It's going to take a second. All right, yeah, good
You
dad.
need to make sure
It's
that
aligned.
you get that
The lip.
on top, right?
Okay.
So there you go.
Do I have it right?
Slide the Cleco off. There you go.
Oh, I don't
Here's
need
the
any
next
more
one.
Clecos.
Whoop, 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 whoop. Don't let that lip slide above. There you go.
You messed. Oh, no, never mind. I thought you messed it up.
Daddies don't mess up. When daddies do it wrong, it was on purpose.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Let me guess. After we're done with this, we're going to match drill the other holes.
That's exactly right.
You guys don't seem to be very talkative today, so again, any questions, just make sure to ask them because
Would you like to do the rest and I'll hold it for you?
this is a good opportunity to clear up on anything that we haven't explained yet.
Do we have any viewers on?
Yes, we do.
Yeah, at least one.
I believe that Jeff is the only person watching.
Looks like we're missing a
We
Cleco.
need one Cleco. Did you not drill that top hole?
I think I did, but would you like me to try do it again?
It doesn't look like it's match drilled, so
I'll just do it real quick.
let's make sure we have a nice tight fit over here first.
Sounds like air's leaking from here.
It's okay. Just a little bit.
Okay.
There we go. And of course and then I just did what I told you not to do.
Aww. Alright, we all make mistakes. Whoa. Alright though, we all make mistakes. Would you like me to match drill one of them?
Actually, we can get another Cleco ready to go into that hole.
Cleco at the ready.
Struggle is really real on our first project. I mean, again, we have a basic understanding on what we're doing, but Other than
Minimum.
that, nothing.
Minimum basic.
Minimum basic. Feels like that hole is too small. There we go.
Yeah. All right, now it's time to
Go
match
ahead
drill.
and match drill the other ones.
Got to get your safety goggles on. You don't want any metal pieces getting on you.
Why don't you start up here so you don't forget where you left off?
This one's pretty awkward.
Just important to go straight, right? Because the rivet needs to be flush.
Last one.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
All right, so that side seems to be match drilled okay. We could now, if we want to, we could leave those ones, those clecos in. Well, it might be easier if we take it off and do the other side without it. But you know what? Let's leave it in, and we'll practice doing this from different angles.
Okay.
Okay? So next thing we're going to do is we're going to actually do the same thing, but we're going to do that on this side.
Don't we have to deburr that one? Oh
It's
wait.
already deburred?
It's already deburred.
So you're going to want to go ahead and start with whichever side doesn't matter, and we're going to go one cleco every other hole.
I can't get it in. So after this, what are we gonna do, Dad?
After this, once we get all of these holes ready, we're going to dimple die these both of these sides of the parts.
Dimple dyeing sounds fun.
Yep, it's going to basically get a nice set in ready for where we need to, with the rivet, so the rivet ends up flush
I don't
with the
think I
metal.
need these anymore. If you guys have any questions, I know there's probably only one viewer on, but if you guys have any questions, I mean, we're not very talkative while we're working. So if you guys want to ask questions, I'll answer them while my dad works. Dylan, what do you think of this build?
I think it's amazing, Tyler. And I just wanted to point out that I will be reading the comments, and I guess Tyler will be answering.
Perfect.
Dylan, the sound of God there in the background.
Yeah, you guys don't see him.
You want to get the drill ready.
I will get the drill ready.
You can imagine now having to do this some multiple hundreds of times for the airplane.
Dad, now it sounds like a lot of air's coming out.
Just twist the... Yeah, keep cleco.
I will keep clecoing. Woohoo! Last one.
So obviously, one of our tools that we prepared yesterday.
Just wasn't tight enough.
There we go.
See.
All right, now it's time to match drill.
Okay, so you got one every other hole, right?
Yep.
Give it
Wanna
a
just
shot.
check?
Let's go.
All right. Oh, I missed the hole there. I'm a good match driller.
You keep telling yourself that, Tyler.
Perfect. So after we get these holes drilled and we get the parts re-disconnected, if you want to call it that, if that's a real word, we're going to need to actually deburr the holes.
Ah, so to deburr the holes, we'll use this tool.
That's right.
This is a fun tool. Kind of go like this, and you go.
Our comment section isn't very active right now.
Not at all.
Not everybody's had their coffee yet this morning.
Which is okay, guys. This is the fun part.
Which part?
The clecoing.
You know, I think every part is fun.
I could agree with that, but my favorite part of all is the clecos.
Just like building a model.
It is like a very, very big model.
Without very great instructions. We have to say that Van's aircraft,
Your instructions weren't that very...
if you're really trying to get people that have never built a piece of metal something or other to be able to do this perfectly the first time, you need to improve the instructions.
That is correct.
Why don't you just flip that screen real quick? There you
That
go.
goes along with our unbiased approach to reviewing every product.
So, Dad, what are you most excited for about this plane build?
Getting in the plane and flying it.
Oh, that's a long way. That's a long time away.
And the avionics, to be honest.
That's also very, very long time away.
It's going to be some pretty advanced avionics.
The avionics are going to be something called glass panel avionics, which means both sides are big screens, almost like the size of this computer screen, maybe a little bigger, side by side, and they have all the avionics that you would need to fly a plane right there in front of you.
Basically running off of a computer screen with all of the instruments within one computer screen rather than having multiple analog instruments.
Should we mark the right one?
So
Or-
if you
Oh, you already did. One step ahead.
So if you guys don't know what avionics is, it's basically how you like navigate and fly a plane and, you know, altitude and whatnot.
To correct you, Dylan, it's avionics R.
Oh, there you go. Thank you, Tyler. So, with avionics, you have a typical six-pack in the airplane, right? Six-pack is, starting from left to right at the top, you have your, see how much you remember from last time you were in my airplane.
Altimeter? What is it?
Airspeed indicator.
Airspeed indicator. I was gonna say that.
Artificial horizon, right?
Mhm.
Then what do we have on the other side? Vertical speed indicator.
What he said?
Then we have our turn and bank coordinator.
What he said?
Our heading indicator.
Agreed. Altimeter? How do you say that?
I think the altimeter is actually in the top right. And
Okay, well,
at
least I remember
but
one thing.
Those are the turn and bank. Those are the six pack, and it will be all in one screen.
So,
Okay, so now that we have now clecoed these together, we've match drilled them, we've labeled them. We now need to pull out all the clecos, and we need
Fun.
to deburr all the holes.
yay.
Remember to get that straight so you don't. They should come out a lot easier, being that they're matched. Otherwise, you'll be jamming up the plier.
Again.
For our new viewer that just joined in, ongoing Q&A for any questions that you might have.
Welcome, new anonymous viewer.
Now, while you remove the clecos from the other side, I'm going to start deburring these holes.
Okay, have fun.
So as Tyler mentioned, we have a hole deburring tool here. It's not really anything special. It's just a
It's
piece
special.
of... All right, it's special. It's just a piece of bent... it's kind of a sharp...
It's kind of almost like a drill bit.
A tiny little scraper with
Yeah.
a bent end. And
It's basically
it
a tiny version of this.
Turns around like so
Tiny version of that.
and gets the burrs off of the hole.
So as our workmen, as I like now call them, work, I'm going to monitor the chat. So, as we've said multiple times, don't mean to annoy you about this, but we are open to questions. And, I mean, it really would feedback if there is a with the stream. We would like to know, so we can try to get that issue resolved.
Last Clico. Oh yeah.
So now we have fully unclicoed the box.
So, like what I was saying about the avionics earlier, there's two types that Van offers, Garmin, and what's the other one?
Dynon.
Dynon. Garmin, in our opinion, from our past experience, better.
And more expensive.
Way more expensive, but it's also better in the long run. On our old plane, we used to own a Piper Archer. We had mostly Garmin avionics, isn't that correct?
Well, no.
I'm incorrect. We had some Garmin avionics.
We had an analog instrument panel, and in our radio stack and our GPS were Garmin.
Like I said, they were somewhat Garmin, but Garmin for us worked way better. And yeah, so that's what we're going to choose for our glass panel cockpit. We're going to choose Garmin. And any more information about the plane that I can explain? Oh, what's cool about this plane is that it can be stored in like a little storage unit. The wings come off, you take them off, and you can stack them, and then it can go into like a garage like we are in, or it can go into like a little storage unit. It's cool though because you could basically put it on a trailer and drive it somewhere without the wings, and you can transport it easily without flying somewhere.
How's that feel? Yeah, so basically, because this is considered a light sport aircraft, it's actually designed for the person that doesn't necessarily want to keep their airplane at an airport, or they want to fly some more backcountry flying or those types of things. It doesn't actually require you to have it stored in the airport, although we probably will keep it in a hangar at the airport.
Ah.
So these holes, I'm not really loving. I think the insides would be burred, but I think there's some burrs that have come on the outside that I'd like to get off of there. We're going to try to use this tool to see if we can't do that.
So while again our loud noises are happening, I want to remind you again, our Patreon account, link in the description, also on the edge of the banner. There is some awesome things that you can get with our Patreon, including, Dad, would you like to share what our top tier for our Patreon is?
I'll share because he probably can't hear us. Basically our top donator, or whoever donates at all, will get their name or their company name put up here.
For how long?
For just the duration of the video.
Oh, there you go.
And even better, on our Patreon account, our top tier donations will get their plane painted. Their name painted on this plane permanently.
Ooh.
And so if you want to brag to all your friends that you have your name on a plane, make sure to go to our Patreon account, and a bunch of cool prizes listed at the link below.
How's it looking? How's it feeling?
I'm feeling pretty good. I still have some more.
While you're doing that, I might start dipple dyeing the edges of these. How's that sound?
That sounds great.
All right. So, if you remember from a few videos ago, we put together our rivet squeezer. Well, a rivet squeezer can actually multi-purpose. So it can not only just squeeze rivets, but it can also prepare the metal. It's called dimpling the holes, preparing it to get ready for the rivet and have it have a nice smooth finish. So I have put in, and I'll see if I can get a close-up on the video here. Dylan, you'll have to let me know how it looks. So this is a dimple die. It's got a dimpler on the probe side, and then on the other side there's a hole for that to go into. So we're going to go ahead and start dimpling our metal.
Again, I don't recommend headphones because
The dimpler is not loud.
The dimpler's not loud.
It is not loud, so I stand
heavy,
corrected. Obviously, I do not know much about these tools.
It's right there. All right, let me try this again.
Yeah, this one is a little bit more dangerous. Let me do it.
Okay.
So if I have to go to the emergency room, it'll be painful, less painful for you.
Still equally painful for me because then I have to sit in the emergency room
There you go.
on my weekend.
Okay, so we have it in there. You'll notice, if you can get a view of that, the dimpler is now working. So we're going to give it a shot, and what we're going to do is we're going to want this is the inside with the letters, right? So you had it right. I just want to make sure. So we want the inside up to match
Okay.
the pounder. Okay. So we're going to line it up with the hole. Yep, there you go. And we're going to dimple it. And let's just take a look and see how it works.
Whoa.
You see the dimple?
Here, I'll go and show the camera. Look at that.
We have
It bends in.
Dimpling.
we have gotten our first dimple of this project.
First successful dimple completed.
Yeah.
Many
We're
more
now
to
going to
go.
dimple every single hole.
So again, as they do that, I forgot to tell you what our PayPal does for us. Our PayPal improves on what we can on what we're gonna show you guys, and it really does help maintain the channel and get all our tools and the kits themselves paid for, so we can bring you guys
Turn
along
the metal.
for the
Forgot about that. You already
experience.
did that one. No, you didn't. All right, now I got this.
Yeah. So yesterday on our video, somebody mentioned, I think it might have been Jeff, our favorite viewer, that our
Hey, no
internet,
favoritism.
Oh no, Jeff's been on almost every video. So he mentioned that our video lag was a little off. So we went and worked with our internet service provider yesterday and compared and made sure. We did find that our internet was not acting as it was supposed to be. We are supposed to have 50 meg bandwidth going down, 10 meg going up, and we were getting about half of that.
That's not good.
That is corrected as of this morning. However, we're also have an order in to upgrade that to the next level up, which I believe is 75 down and 35 up or something like
That's not
that.
flush.
That's okay.
Hello, Jesselyn. As you were on yesterday,
Hola.
we have an
Proper?
ongoing Q&A if
Thank
you
you.
did not know. So any questions will be
can't see where it is, but yeah.
answered throughout the stream because there's a
I
lot
try?
of downtime. So make sure to ask
Alright,
any
after this
questions,
Not really
and
much.
if you guys
I know.
missed it,
That's just what I'm trying.
Jesselyn's
You have to pull the
Instagram
Pull that.
Safety.
Yeah.
was
push that up.
shouted out
Oh,
yesterday.
Okay.
Hold it upright so I can see the dimple. There you
Oh,
go.
I got something in my eye.
You don't want anything in your eye, especially not middle.
Middle.
Metal.
Oh.
So any questions for our one viewer that is on, which I assume is Jesselyn?
You lose Jeff?
I believe so.
He's probably bored. Unless we just lost Jesselyn and Jeff stayed on.
Jesselyn just commented hi, so I'm not sure about that one, Tyler.
Now, Jesselyn is our favorite slime girl. She creates slime at home, all different types of slime. I've been watching some of those videos, very exciting.
So if you guys want to buy slime for your kids or your grandkids or for yourself,
Check out Jesselyn.
check out Jesselyn on Instagram. We posted it on our Instagram, so check it out.
That's correct.
And Facebook, if
we're
you
going to do the
guys.
same thing. We're going to dimple dye this.
Dimple dyed that.
Okay?
How
Now
does that
this,
work?
Remember, we want the outside to dimple.
So you
you're
should do
gonna
that.
have to do, no, you can do it.
Okay.
It just means that it's going to have to go this way.
Okay. I should hold this.
Unless you want to flip it upside down and work it, which is fine too.
No, I'd rather do this.
For our two more viewers, again, we have an ongoing Q&A at all times, and I will be answering or Tyler will be answering those questions. And hello, another viewer. So if you missed that, our Q&A is ongoing. So, Tyler, why don't you go and post in our chat that there's a Q&A so I don't have to keep repeating it.
I like you keep repeating it.
We'll have to do that in just a second, Bill. I need a second set of hands for my dimpling.
Tyler, it is Adam Chich, if I pronounce that
Hey,
wrong.
it's my friend
I
Adam.
need you to turn the other way, please.
I'm sorry
Hello, Adam.
I'm sorry for mispronouncing your last name, Adam.
That's not his last name. How long do you think it's gonna take to make
Keep
it?
turning.
Probably gonna take a good year.
Well, what are we talking about? We talking about the airplane, or are we talking about
Oh
the
yeah.
toolbox?
Which one are we talking about, Jesslyn? Here, I'll post in the chat now.
The airplane. The airplane is going to probably take about 2 years, if I would guess. This toolbox we hope to have completed substantially today.
Well, maybe we should show them and rivet one side.
We're not
that
going to
side.
rivet anything till we're ready.
I'm
But
assuming we're not ready to
we are
rivet.
not ready to rivet. We are ready, however, to continue to dimple die.
That's fun.
I should say dimple, considering we're
You missed
using
the whole-
dimpling dies.
Any more questions while we're doing this before we end our stream after we do these last dimple dies?
Dimples.
Or as we do these last dimples with our dimple die?
So, we may actually come up with another video today, so stay tuned. But that is not a promise. So if you really want it, go ahead and smash that like button.
Bye, Jesslyn. Thank you for coming on to our stream.
How about if we offer our first big donor this toolbox?
Okay. So if you guys want to donate, we'll say...
This toolbox cost about $35 for the kit. How about if we offer it up for our first $25 donation? That
All
is
right.
a bargain.
So, you guys just heard.
I need holding, please.
Okay, I'll keep holding and I'll talk at the same time. If you guys would like to donate $25 or more, you can have this toolkit that we're building.
But just remember, it's the first person that does that.
Yes,
and
it's the first
in your
person.
donation, make sure you provide your shipping address.
Yes.
Even better,
Hello, Chris.
even better, why don't we do our largest donation by the time that we finish this toolbox? I think that would be an easy, even better solution.
Well, I think that would have been a good solution, but since we already said it, I think we have to go based off our original idea. How about on the next one, we come up with a better, another one, and we do it based off the largest?
Chris, so basically what you've missed is, so basically right now, this is called the pneumatic tool squeeze, or pneumatic
Rivet squeezer.
squeezer. And basically we're dimpling, and we're using a dimple die, which is on here, and basically what it does is it presses down the metal to form it in a different way. So not only have we done this, we dimpled both sides to our toolbox right here, left and right, left and right.
We're going to need the instructions because I believe we're now moving on to riveting.
Oh.
I believe.
Our first
Excuse me
rivet
for a second so I
pole.
can get the instructions.
You may, all of you, witness our first rivet pulled of this extremely large project.
So why don't you go ahead and tell them, Chris, what you missed while I check
Okay,
this
so
out.
basically what we missed is we took these two sides right here, the left and the right. So basically what we did is we took this, and this is called a deburring tool. So basically it's a big like circular thing, and it spins, and it's got kind of like sandpaper on it. And no, my brother's not talking right now. But basically, what you're going to do is you press this, it starts moving, and then you just go along the edge and quickly just go, and it's basically like sandpaper, and it's going to smooth this out. So we did this for both sides. Then, after we deburred the sides, we took these things, which are clecos, and we put them through here, and we squeezed them, and then what we did is we had this on here, and we put it in every other hole. And when we finished putting them in every other hole, we did something called match drilling. So we took this drill, it's an automated drill, pneumatic drill, and we went, so if we started on this hole right here, we would drill in every other hole from the clecos. So we'd drill, then skip one, then drill. And then when we were done with that, we'd take out all the clecos in their original spot and put them in the new drilled holes. Then we drill the ones that the clecos were in before. And basically that's where we are right now.
I am getting a hint at that we will be pulling our first rivet of this huge project that is this airplane.
Here,
on
let me
our
see if I can
starter
get a
project.
rivet to show what it looks like. Okay, so it is very tiny. Dylan, help me out. Tell me if they can see it. It's kind of hard to see because I have big fingers. That is a rivet. That's the top of the rivet, and that is the body of the rivet. It is very, 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 very tiny, so you do not want to drop this or misplace it.
Or put it in the wrong box.
Or put it in the wrong box, which I'm sure I just did.
Yeah, one recommendation to Van's Aircraft, if they're listening to our stream, is when you ship a kit that contains, just based off of my quick guess, 3 or 4 different styles/sizes of rivets, it probably would be helpful to put them in separate containers labeled as to what their name and model number is, so that in your instructions, when it says use XYZ rivet, you know which ones to use. I am currently over here off camera sorting through a ridiculous amount of rivets.
Why don't you come on camera and show everybody the ridiculous amount of rivets and how tiny they are, and, well, here, I'll take them up close to the camera. So, here is our whole big box of rivets. Not very big and not a lot of rivets, but if you guys can see, there are all the rivets. Most of them are all different sizes. There's like 3 different sizes in there, so that's a problem, because it came all mixed up like this. So now we have to go and sort all of them into 3 separate boxes.
Chris, I do not understand your question, so what is the,
Okay, I know what he's saying. The donation thing we were talking about is if you donate $25 or more on our PayPal or our Patreon, once we're finished building this toolkit, we will send it to you. But make sure when you do donate, go and put your shipping address in your donation message.
That's right. Remember, first person to donate gets the box.
Yeah. So the first person that donates will get this. And basically, once it's finished, you're going to basically have your own little toolbox from Van's Aircraft that we built for you. So if you're interested in that, go ahead. Our PayPal and our Patreon are down on our banner right here. And like I said, $25 or more, and the first person to do it will win this toolbox.
And I am, at the moment, removing or attempting to remove
The dimple die?
the dimple die from the squeezer so that we can put the proper ends in for squeezing rivets. So these are the dimple dies that we're just using. You can see they're very small.
Let me see those for a second.
Sure.
I will show them how they work. So basically how the dimple dies work, this part goes on the top. Let me hold it better. This part goes on top of the pneumatic squeezer. This part goes on the, oh, I dropped it. Not a good idea. This part goes on the bottom, and basically with the pressure, it pushes down and bends the metal. If you guys can see, this is kind of like curves in, so it bends the metal exactly how it wants it. So basically it pushes down and then comes up and keeps doing that until all the holes are dimpled.
thank you for our compliment on our echo-free stream.
Yeah, finally we got an echo-free screen.
I keep dropping
So
these things.
I'm now going to just take and adjust the riveter to the size of 2 pieces of metal.
Chris, I'm glad there's no more echo too.
If you'll
It was
hold that
really
for me.
annoying.
Just adjusting, you don't have to hold it tight. I'm just adjusting our riveter so that we're going to squeeze to the right squish level.
And Christopher, if you missed, our top tier on Patreon is to get your name
Okay, you can take those
painted
out.
on
Okay.
our airplane for our top tier. So if you want to do that, link is in description for our Patreon. And if you don't want to click that link,
Okay.
the address is
We're gonna
on the
give it a
bottom
shot.
banner.
All right, guys, we're
Who's
about to
ready
do our
for our first rivet?
Yeah, this is our first rivet.
So-
Yes, Chris, you said also, Tyler. So, also. Here, let's keep going and we'll.
I have the right side
Okay.
and the right side.
Here
We're
we
going
go.
to put this in place. Now we have already match drilled this, so if we have done this properly, this should fit perfectly.
We have a question from Chris that Tyler, have you played Battlefield 5?
No.
Battlefield 5. I've never
Have
heard
not.
of it.
Sounds very fun.
So the rivet fits nicely.
That's good.
Here we go.
Sounds fun, but no, haven't played it yet. I can
Now-
check it out after the stream.
This is moving around pretty good. So what I'd like to do is actually go to the approach that we're going to take on the airplane. And I'd actually like to go ahead and put in clecos every other hole.
Okay.
And we'll go ahead and rivet every other hole first.
Okay.
We'll start, I'm going to rivet this top hole here first.
Here we go, guys. Our first rivet of the stream. We have 6 people
So
watching,
go ahead and put the clecos in starting on hole number 2.
and you are about to witness history.
Not
then-
history, but
And then
Oh, it's
go
pretty.
around every other
every
hole.
hole, other hole. All right, will do.
Has our dad built an airplane before?
I have
And
never built an airplane.
Well-
I have flown many, and I have helped people with various parts of building. In other words, I've pulled a couple of rivets on other people's airplanes.
Why don't you explain your fun time at AirVenture in
Sure.
Oshkosh?
So there is the largest air show in the United States, maybe even the world, called AirVenture. It's put on by the Experimental Aircraft Association, EAA, and it happens every year in July in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. And so this past year I was up there, and what gave me the idea of building this particular plane is that they built one, and they did it in 1 week. They had probably somewhere around 40 or so volunteers helping. That's enough. We get good. We're good. We're good.
Oh,
So 40 volunteers or so that helped with the build, and they built this particular airplane, the Vans RV-12IS, and they called it the 1 Week Wonder. So if you go on YouTube and you search 1 Week Wonder, you will actually see some videos of that build happening. Maybe you'll catch a glimpse of me pulling a rivet or two, and then maybe you'll also be able to see the plane actually do some of its tests and some of its first flight. And that's the exact plane that we're going to be building, and we're going to be painting, and we're going to be flying. And it's kind of cool because we're going to be doing it from scratch on our own.
so to answer your question, Chris, no, he hasn't, but he has assisted.
So first rivet is pushed in. You want to pull the first one? You want me to push the first one?
here we go,
I'll do
guys.
Okay, so
All right,
it's
is there
important.
rules?
Yeah, well, rules of safety, right?
Okay.
Number one, you're gonna have to
Safety.
push the safety up when you get ready to squeeze. Your thumb's gonna go there to squeeze. You like that, right? You're gonna want to get that in there with this lying on top of the rivet fairly. I'll hold the box when
Okay.
you're doing it, right? But you're gonna want to get it in there fairly flat.
Okay.
All right, and then you're gonna want to make sure it's completely on the top of the rivet when you pull it.
All right,
have
I'm
a-
excited. I'm
Swap.
gonna pull the first rivet, guys.
We have a question from Chris. How long do you think it would take? And we assume that it will take about 2 years. And here we go.
Make sure you're fully on the rivet before you pull.
The rivet is going to be pulled.
I don't know if I'm
Drum roll, please, for you guys at home.
Make sure you are.
I'm not. This is catching.
Give it a shot.
I,
Right,
bel
you did.
I believe
Not good.
Well, it's a pretty squished rivet, that's for sure.
I believe that our first rivet has been squished.
First rivet is squished. I might give it another squish just to
Keep it.
make sure that we get the right squish level. Go ahead
So
and pull
for
that
those
safety for me.
3 viewers
get
that
a
are
wrap.
on, you have witnessed tie-dye point videos history in our first rivet squished.
So while I think the rivet squishing process that you did was perfectly fine, the one thing I would complain about is the squish level.
I have an idea. What if we use...
Fix the squish level?
Yeah, or because that's such an awkward angle in the corner, what if we use our handy-dandy 360 rivet squeezer?
No, that's for rivet pulling. We're squeezing rivets. We don't have a handy-dandy manual squeezer. But
Oh
what
yeah,
are
we gave
gonna
that
do-
away.
What we can do is just adjust the squish level, which I just did,
Okay.
and see if we can get a tighter squish.
I hear an air leak.
That's
I'm
just
not-
because I'm holding the trigger,
I see.
and I'm much happier, I think, with that squish level.
Our
Get the safety for me.
first rivet has been squished, and for those 3 people watching again, you have witnessed history
Greatness.
in our stream. So
We did it!
That seems pretty squished.
to many more.
Now we're gonna go every other rivet, and then we're gonna pull out the clecos.
So, we're using these ones?
Actually, this might be difficult with the clecos in, but we're gonna give it a shot.
You want to
So-
try...
We might have to pull a cleco, put a rivet, pull a cleco, put a rivet.
So I believe that
Why don't you do that? Why don't you pull this cleco and we'll put a rivet in the second hole.
as we're doing these rivets, let's wrap up the stream. So any final questions to throw in, because we have been on for a pretty long time. So any final questions before we go offline?
And check us later because we will be back on probably with these 2 sides completed, moving on to the next.
Ruh-roh.
Yes.
I did it again.
So I'll give you guys.
I did it again.
Stop, you're not
Oh,
a good
sorry.
singer.
So I'll give
That
you
was Britney Spears. You're saying I'm not as good as Britney Spears?
Not even close.
I'll give you about 30 seconds to answer before we go offline. So
That look good? To start squeezing?
Probably.
Alrighty.
Still gotta get the cleco out.
it appears like we don't have any more questions. So
Watch that untangle.
I will do the outro as we do our rivets. We are tie-dye point videos. Tune in later for
that
our
doesn't look
other
good at all.
video. Thank you, Chris, for the 11 out of 10, and we will see you guys next stream.
Good.
Why won't that?
Bye,
wow.
people.